Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Dave.
Hi, how are you?
Nice hood. Is that like
Eh,
for like an ode to the film or
Of
like what?
course, of
Yeah,
course. Doesn't look
great.
as cool as the one in the film. This looks a little thrown together, but
You
it'll
stand
work.
up
I
and look
love
at the movie
this.
from behind.
Oh yeah, there's not enough room to stand up in here. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and today I'm talking to Kourtney Roy and Chloe Pirrie of Kryptic, which is debuting at South by Southwest on March 10th, 2024. I'm going to talk to them right now, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. So thanks so much for joining me. Today I've got the director Kourtney Roy and star Chloe Pirrie talking about Kryptic, which is debuting at the midnight stage at South by Southwest on March 10th, 2024. It is a strange, interesting kind of like psychedelic creature feature with a really great setting, some amazing performances, and some mind-bending, time-bending thoughts in it. It is a very interesting film. I'm very excited to talk to you. So thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I've only watched it twice, but I think I have the gist of it. That my general thought is the message is forests are scary, cryptids are cool, and men are bad. Is that kind of the overall?
No, men are not bad. No. God, gonna have to fight that.
It didn't seem
Forests are
like they were.
scary. Houses, domestic houses are even scarier though, right?
Yes,
The forest is
that
scary,
is
but the real terror is in the home.
that's
That's
true. That's true. That is where the actual fear happens. Um,
yeah.
but no, this is a really interesting film. Kourtney, like, how did you find this script? How did you get involved in this movie? What about this spoke to you to really kind of want to take this project on?
Well, actually, it was just Paul, the writer, Paul Bromley. He's a very good friend of mine. And I'm probably gonna say this like a million times. Him and I were out drinking a lot of wine one night, and he said, "I want to write a script for you." And I said, "Oh, you do?" And I said, "Like a short, like a little short." In my mind, I was like, "Oh, something small." He's like, "No, a feature." And I was just kind of naive, like, "Okay, let's do it." And he said, "Well," and then he came over, to the house like a little while later, or like a couple days later, and we just basically like wrote out ideas of what we wanted to see in a film. It was quite simple in a way, quite organic. And so, I was like, well, I would like to see a monster. And I was like, and I like the idea of, time bending elements. And I like strange, awkward sex scenes. And I like mucus. And he said, I like doppelgangers, and I like road movies, and I like a female led, main character. And I said, okay. And so we kind of worked on it like that. It was very, very sort of slow and easy going. And it was, there was no like overarching intention from the beginning at all. It was something that built up slowly from the ground up.
I love how like normally you would make that list and then pare it down to, okay, so these are the few things we can get in. This other stuff we'll leave for another project. But you were just like, you know what? Let's just put all of that in our wish list of stuff into this movie
We
and
had a wish
see
list.
if it works.
We got
Uh,
most of the wish list in there actually, so
no, yeah,
pretty good.
100%. When you were saying the things you like, I was like, yeah, that was in there, and yeah, that was in there too. So
Yeah.
that is awesome. I love that process. So Chloe, how did you get on this project? Did you have a script? Did you just have kind of this like hit list of things? How did you get involved?
I got a script and I got some links to Kourtney's other work in her photography and also some films she'd made, some shorter films that she'd made. Yeah, so that's kind of how I got involved. And I really enjoy it. When I read it, I found it, funny, strange, like really intriguing. And the character, probably because of the writing process, like it's funny hearing how that was the genesis of it, because it's kind of wonderful that like you really managed to, despite having going at it that way, there is this really like rootable character at the center of it who I really enjoyed finding a way through that. And it's ambitious, and it was like coming up to meeting her at wherever she's at in all these strange places she goes was such a joy. So and that's that sense of having to meet her where she lands in these extreme situations was there from the beginning in the audition process as well, like wrestling with these strange scenes, but like knowing there was something really interesting going on in them.
Yeah, for sure. I like how you describe, having to like get to where this character was. 'Cause I was going to ask, like, was it tough to play this character? Because it seems like there were all these different extremes that they went to, and then sometimes you had different kind of like, I don't know, personalities or different kind of time aspects in this. So it's almost like you were playing multiple different characters, you know, even through different scenes. Like at one point you would, you know, be kind of very serious, and then the next scene it would be, you know, free spirited and dancing. Like, was that difficult? Was that, it sounds like it was fun at least. So.
It was just really fun, mostly quite fun. Obviously there's some extreme moments that are more like difficult to play, or like kind of yeah, like she goes through an emotional journey, but it was all really rich. And you know, it's just amazing to have the opportunity to like go that far and be directed by somebody who kind of just encourages more and is, you know, really clear about, although Kourtney didn't always know exactly what she wanted from a scene, it was really open to it being shown to her. Like there was always a sense that like her vision was like there throughout. So yeah, I just kind of felt very guided and supported by that, and there wasn't really a choice I could make that was too much, you know, in a way, at either end of the spectrum, you know, too happy, too upset, too angry, none of this existed in this process. So that was fun, just turning the dial of that, you know.
Yeah, it sounds very free, because yeah, you could just kind of take risks, and it didn't really matter, because hey, you know what, maybe it would work out. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you trust people you're working with, you don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so Kourtney, speaking of your directing, this was your first feature film, I believe. When you mentioned earlier, you're like, oh, maybe I'll do a short, and it ended up being a feature. So was there any kind of challenges associated with that, since this was kind of a bigger, longer project, or did you just kind of like jump in the same way you would a short? It's just there's more to shoot, and there's more kind of resources at your disposal.
No, it was definitely like, it was a huge challenge. Big learning curve from you know, from day one of working with Paul to production to post. So I mean, I would say everything was a challenge, not in the sense that it was frustrating or negative. It was just it's just, you know, I just, you know, I just never done this before. I don't have a film background, so it was just a big learning curve. So it's just, I had to keep on my toes all the time. And every time I made a mistake, I had to go, okay, now keep that like little piece of information locked in your brain and learn from it, because don't do that again, because there's 50 people watching you. You don't want to make an idiot of yourself again. Like that was basically, you know, every day just sort of like a little lesson in humility, basically.
That's something that I think all of us could use, probably. That's
Yeah.
that's what you
Every
all the
day,
time.
like, well, yeah, you could have done that, but not that anything bad happened. But you know, it's like, oh, well, I could have maybe done that way. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that would go like that. And it was like, well, now I know, you know. So
There you go. We're always learning, always learning. In this
always
film,
learning.
it does have some kind of like time bending aspects. Was it filmed sequentially? Did you kind of film in like different chunks? Did you film in characters? Like how did you kind of make this movie?
Oh, it was you know, it was all shot completely out of order, of course.
As it should, you know, just to
I
keep
kind of
everyone on
had
their
this very
toes.
idea in my head, like saying before we start filming, like maybe we could shoot it all in like sequence. And like my producer and first AD were like, yeah, right. Like it was like the biggest joke ever that I said that. Like that's like all these learning curves I'm talking about. Like, well, we can do this. They're like, no, Kourtney, you will never ever do that ever. I was like, oh, okay. So, so I mean, yeah, it was definitely probably a challenge, probably even more for Chloe, to kind of, because it is like you said, there's just like such a variation of what this character is going through, and her highs and her lows, and all these things that she's living through, that she's basically keeping on the ball of what's actually happening in this scene, because it's just, you know, such a crazy, it's already kind of such a weird, strange film. You don't want to lose that kind of that line through it all, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And speaking of some of the highs and lows, Chloe, I wanted to ask, what was it like filming, I'll call it the goo scenes, the like the scenes where
The mucus.
the mucus scenes, we'll go with that.
Many mucus moments.
Yeah.
Really fun, again, because you know, you're working with special effects people who have, you know, they come to you and they've built an entire rig of stuff they're going to attach to you and just eject out of you, you know, and incredible, like there was a monster that was created for me to kind of interact with, and like just some of the strangest stuff I've ever done, probably will ever do on a film. I did on this project. So thank you, Kourtney. But like it was kind of extraordinary and really fun, and you know, and also like excellent work by that department, you know. So you kind of just go with it, and in a way, like as an actor, when all of that's being done for you, you're quite, you know, no matter what I do, that story beat will land, because look at this, like, so it's sort of, you're quite free from that point of view. And also because we, was it 19 days we shot the film in?
17.
Oh, wow.
17. And also I got COVID at one point, so we lost
her 2 days
or something. 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
So like there was a kind of sense of just having to like get on the train and it will move. And actually, because plot wise, although it's complicated moving back and forward in time, plot wise it's actually quite simple in terms of the journey she goes on, because it's like, I'm in the house, I'm in the forest, I knew that was actually very easy to navigate, compared to something like I'm doing something that's more of a detective show at the moment, and it's like all over like past flashbacks and all that stuff. That's way harder to deal with as an actor, like in terms of keeping track of the arc of the character. So this was really easy from that point of view.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to, I call it the lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the film. You can feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. First question. Do either of you have any like cryptids from your hometown?
Hometown, no, but in the area, yeah. There's like,
Oh,
in Northern Ontario, there's like old Yellow Top, who's like it's kind of like a Sasquatch sort of creature who has like a yellow top of hair.
just blonde Sasquatch or beach bum Sasquatch. I love it.
Yeah, he's from California.
Yeah. He moved up there for the healthcare, right? As so many do.
Yeah.
Chloe, do you have any?
Not really. I'm from Edinburgh. I don't know that we have. I mean, we've got obviously the Loch Ness Monster is like a whole
That's
thing.
like the cryptid. That's like the
ultimate. And also like Edinburgh, like taxi drivers in Edinburgh like to play with tourists and claim that the haggis is a creature that is found in the moors, and like it's this animal you have to catch, and it has one leg shorter than the other, which so that it can run up and down the mount through the glens or something like that. So that's the haggis.
Yeah, those are both great cryptids. Have either of you ever been cryptid hunting?
No, I haven't.
Did you see anything weird when you were filming this movie in the forest?
No. We were the weirdest things covered in mucus.
Okay.
Touche.
When was the last time you went on like a nature hike?
I went on a dog walk the other day that got quite rustic.
That counts.
That counts.
When I was in Canada in May, I was up north in the Yukon.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Both good times. And do either of you have like a doppelganger?
People always tell me I look like Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, you do. Actually, yeah.
So many times, especially in Germany for some reason. They're like, Alanis, you should play Alanis Morissette. I was like, well, we haven't had the biopic of her, so potentially I should.
No, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't understand it, but apparently that's the one.
It kind of writes itself. Just the title will be probably Bitter Little Pill, and just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the last question, are either of you wearing anything red? Because there were definitely red pops in the film.
My underwear's red. My underwear's red.
All right, there we go.
Got a red handle next to me. There we go.
All right, so keeping in theme with the movie. So the film is Kryptic. It's premiered at South by Southwest on March 10th, 2024, and the midnight stage at South by Southwest. It is a very interesting film. You probably want to see it twice, because the first time will just be kind of getting used to everything. And the second time you can really start piece together. But if you can check it out on the midnight stage at South by Southwest. This is the director Kourtney Roy and star Chloe Pirrie. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Thank you. That was Kourtney Roy and Chloe Pirrie talking about Kryptic, which premieres at South by Southwest on March 10th, 2024 on the midnight stage. It is a strange psychological kind of creature feature horror film that has some really great performances, a wonderful setting, and some mind-bending ideas. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.